Hi everybody, my name is Danielle Nicole and welcome to Monetary Makeup. I may have done a little damage at Victoria's Secret. So I recently went shopping at Victoria's Secret and I noticed that they had a brand new perfume collection called Bare. So I have the body mist, the perfume, the lotion, and the oil. Now I initially only picked up the body mist, but the next day I quickly went back and picked up the entire collection. Now I have been wearing a few of these products the last couple of days, so I'm going to give you all of my thoughts about the lasting power of the scent and the entire collection in general. So if you're excited to hear my thoughts about this new Bare collection and enjoy the video while you're watching, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and let's get started right now. Now as I mentioned, I initially only picked up the body mist from the Bare collection, and I immediately went back and picked up every single item in this Bare line. Now that does say a lot because I am actually not the biggest fan of Victoria's Secret's perfumes or scents in general, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Now there is actually only one other perfume that I absolutely love from Victoria's Secret, so I'll definitely get into my thoughts and what this one is too. So all of the items that I picked up from this Bare collection are the Bare Fine Fragrance Mist, the Bare Eau de Parfum, the Bare Fine Fragrance Lotion, and the Bare Luminous Body Veil. So I went a little bit crazy with this collection. Now I believe this is the entire line, however there are different sizes available. So let's first unbox the EDP. Now I picked up the 1.7 fluid ounce bottle. Overall, I think this packaging is very sleek, and we'll get into the notes in a second here, but I do feel like the packaging definitely matches the fragrance. Now this is a glass bottle, so I would say it does feel quite luxe. The cap is like a hexagon. Now this is plastic, but it does feel pretty heavy for a fragrance. So we will spray this in just a moment. First, let's get into the notes. This soft, warm fragrance has a secret ingredient, you. Bare transforms on the skin to create a signature that's uniquely yours. Now the notes are Australian sandalwood, Egyptian violet, and Mandarin Madagascar. Now I absolutely love creamy sandalwood, very deep, warm fragrances, especially now that we are getting into autumn. So I'm so excited to spray this and let you guys know how I feel about it. Now before I spray, I do want to mention that they really don't give a ton of information about the notes. They only listed 3, so I'm going to do my best for the description. Alright, so let's give this a spritz. Alright, so on initial spray, this is such a dreamy, creamy, very intoxicating scent. I feel like they did such a great job at blending all of these notes together. However, this is a fragrance that you can definitely pick up each individual note, even though they only listed 3. Now, this fragrance does lean on the sweet side. However, I would say it's only semi-sweet. And what I'm picking up, it is not gourmand. Now, for those who typically avoid very sweet, gourmand, candy-like fragrances, this is not the sweetness that I'm picking up from this fragrance. Now, what's really interesting is I would expect this fragrance to have vanilla and coconut just because it is so smooth and creamy, but it's not listed as any of the notes. Now, the sandalwood in this fragrance, it's very smooth. So for those who typically do not like woody scents, I would still recommend giving this a shot. Now, I was a bit worried with the Egyptian violet. Now, I do typically like violet fragrances. However, they do have to be blended correctly. The way the violet in this scent smells, it just smells intoxicating. Now, as I mentioned, this is a very creamy, dreamy scent. However, I love that they threw in the Mandarin Madagascar because I feel like that just gave a hint of citrus, but it is definitely not on the fresh side. Now, if you typically enjoy very creamy, vanilla, sandalwood, coconut scents, I do think this would be right up your alley. Now, for those that really enjoy the creaminess and the semi-woody note that sandalwood can provide, but you don't enjoy coconut or vanilla, I also think this would be a fragrance you would enjoy because, as I mentioned, there is no coconut and I don't believe there is any vanilla either. You know, I am so shocked that they were able to create such a sultry, dreamy, creamy scent without any vanilla or coconut, because usually with these type of fragrances, they usually have at least vanilla, and at least that I can see, this one does not. Now, as I was reading on the back of the box here, it mentions that this has a secret ingredient, you, but I really do feel like that is true. this is definitely one of those scents that depending on who is wearing the perfume, it is most definitely going to smell unique to you. I just cannot stop smelling this, you guys. This is such a beautifully put together fragrance. Now, what's really interesting is typically when fragrances are very well blended together, even though the smell is divine, it can be really difficult to pick up all of the individual notes, but this one, I can definitely pick up all three that are listed. And I don't feel like any of the notes are overpowering any of the others. It is just such a well blended perfume. So again, I would say this is a semi-sweet, but not a gourmand sweet, very dreamy, very creamy. You can certainly pick up that sandalwood, and I would say this does lean on the feminine side. Now, I do want to mention the Egyptian violet. Even though that sounds wonderful, sometimes I do find that violet can be very overpowering, and I'm not the biggest fan of overly floral fragrances, but this violet, it is blended beautifully. So I also believe if you are not the biggest fan of floral perfumes like me, this Egyptian violet is just beautiful. You don't get a super powerful flower scent. Yeah, and I also feel like that Egyptian violet just gives it something a bit unique because it's not just a traditional sandalwood creamy fragrance. I do feel like the combination of the mandarin and the violet, it just makes this perfection. So overall, this is such an intoxicating, dreamy, creamy, semi-sweet, semi-citrus fragrance, and I'm so excited to start wearing it. Now, I do feel like this fragrance would be the perfect addition for fall and winter, and also for date nights. However, this is a type of fragrance that I feel like really adheres to your own personal body chemistry, so I would certainly be comfortable wearing this year-round. So overall, the scent itself is definitely getting 2 thumbs up from me. So let me know in the comments down below, have you picked up the new fragrance Bear? And if so, what was your experience? And what type of notes did it pick up on you? All right, next let's move into the fragrance mist because I do want to talk about the lasting power of each. Now, I do have to give Victoria's Secret credit because I do find with their fragrance mist that they do smell almost identical to the actual EDPs or perfumes. Now, in order to get the most amount of lasting power, just like all perfumes and fragrances in general, I do recommend not only applying these fragrances to your skin, but also to your clothing. Now, I personally like to apply the fragrance mist after I get out of the shower, but after I've applied all of my lotion and oils. Now, I was pretty surprised about the lasting power. Now, the fragrance mist, it is not going to last all day, especially on the skin. However, I did notice when I only wore the mist the first day I picked it up, I was getting a little bit of scent on my clothing at the end of the day. But the perfume, the EDP, you guys, I was actually quite impressed with the lasting power of this Bear fragrance. Now, I think that's because it has something to deal with how this fragrance combines with all of your natural oils and your body chemistry in general. But I find this fragrance actually lasts all day, especially when I apply it to my clothing and the skin. Now, what's really interesting about me getting almost a full day's wear with this fragrance is I would still categorize this fragrance as a skin scent. But the difference is, with most skin scents, after you've applied them, they just kind of wash away and turn into your natural fragrance after just a couple of hours. Now, this one does do that a bit, but I still pick up the notes of the fragrance at the end of the day. So yes, I would categorize this fragrance as a skin scent, more in the sense that you're not going to get any extreme or overpowering notes, but the fragrance still has really great lasting power. So I hope that makes sense. Kind of like a skin scent, but it definitely lasts all day on me. Now, I'm actually quite happy that I have both because, as I said, I do like to apply the mist when I get out of the shower, and then once I'm fully dressed, then I go in with the EDP. So I do think the combination of the two definitely assists in the lasting power as well. Hi you guys, so I just got done filming the video and I was so excited I completely forgot to mention a couple of things about this Bear perfume, so I'm going to interrupt myself. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that I do feel like this perfume works beautifully on its own. As I mentioned, it is definitely one of my favorites. But the other thing I wanted to mention is I feel like this is the perfect fragrance for layering. And I really think that's because this fragrance doesn't appear to have any vanilla, coconut. It's just a really beautiful scent. So just wanted to mention I do think this works wonderfully on its own. but definitely going to be one of my favorites for layering. I actually layered this fragrance with Kayali Utopia 21. It was absolutely beautiful. So layer or not till your heart's content. Okay, back to the video. Alright, so in addition to the mist and fragrance, they also came out with not only a lotion, but a body veil oil. So on the back of the packaging of the body veil, it reads, Luxe Cream to Oil Formula melts into skin to reveal radiance. Now, I've not tried either of the lotions yet, so let's do a first impressions right now. So I am quite familiar with the fragrance since I have been wearing it all week. So let's see if the lotion smells similar and what the texture is like. It definitely has that same fragrance. Alright, so I really like the texture of this lotion. You know, it's quite similar to the other lotions in the different scents. It has a very thin, not greasy formula whatsoever. So I do find this formula, along with their other scents, these just melt right into the skin. So I don't find the formula of the lotions are the most hydrating, but I really use these for the scent itself. Alright, so that lotion did sink into my hands quite nicely, and there's hardly any residue left over. Alright, I have not tested out any of the body veil formulas yet, so let's give this a spritz right now. So it initially starts off similar to the lotion, but it's definitely a thinner formula. Definitely smells the same as all the others. So this is supposed to turn into an oil. Now, I do find that's true, but it's not a super greasy oil. What I'm finding is that this is also sinking into the skin almost immediately. Now that really excites me. As much as I love oils, I hate when they leave a greasy residue. Alright, wow, I am really impressed with this body veil. Doesn't feel greasy whatsoever. I feel like this would be a great product to use after you shave. Alright, absolutely love all the products in the Bare line. Next, let's talk about the other fragrance I mentioned that I love. So, I have tested and smelled just about every single fragrance that Victoria's Secret has, and I must say, this is the only other fragrance that I absolutely love. So this is from the Bombshell line, and the fragrance called Passion. Now, this fragrance, it's just sexy. I don't know how else to describe it. It's a little fruity, not so much sweet. It's a little musky, not too much. It is the perfect balance of all the notes that are in the Passion fragrance. Whenever I imagine going out on a date, this is a scent I would certainly wear. Now, I typically gravitate towards more creamy, dreamy, just like the Bare fragrance as I just mentioned, or more on the sweet and semi-sweet or gourmand side. This one is not any of those. It has a bit of florals, but man, this is just a sexy fragrance. Now, the one thing I do find with Passion is that this body mist lasts the exact same time as the actual fragrance. Now, what's interesting is these two fragrances are complete opposites, but I love them so much. So I would say if you are looking for a sexy, a bit fruity, a bit sultry scent, I would definitely go for the Passion. If you like more of a skin scent that has a bit of creaminess, a bit of sultriness to it, then I would go for the Bare. Alright, well I am so happy with the new Bare scent from Victoria's Secret. Just can't say enough good things about it. So now I want to hear from all of you guys down below. Have you picked up anything from this new Bare line? Have you tested it out? If you did, what kind of notes picked up on you? And overall, what are your thoughts? Alright you guys, well I had so much fun testing out this new fragrance from Victoria's Secret. I do hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye guys!